Yeah, I'm almost a little, I was sitting here prepared to defend Jalen Hurts, but now it feels like you were giving undirected strays towards Justin Herbert. Like putting him on that list, like he's not been in the playoffs. The Chargers
I just said elite trajectory rank.
The Chargers scored more points had the Chargers been in the NFC, but listen, that's not the case. Here's my thing, though. I'm a big believer in Jalen Hurts, and I thought that when he was coming out of college and coming out of Oklahoma, excuse me, I almost said Alabama. I believe he played at Alabama, but anyways, I really liked his talent. And if you go back, you can go, listen, you can go pull up the receipts. I actually wanted him to go to the Bears. I thought he was a very good prospect. So I really do believe in him, and I've believed in him a long time. And I feel like he's unfairly questioned in the NFL for a lot of the reasons that you're talking about. He did lead this team to the playoffs last year. And you know what? They did become a little run heavy at the end of last season, but I think that's to the credit of Nick Sirianni, who kind of recognized what was going on. He's got a young, developing quarterback. Like, okay, let's just go out there and be a successful team, which is fine. I think that's okay. Like, not every quarterback walks into the NFL and puts up prolific passing numbers like Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow or anything like that. But this is a player who has proven that he can win at an elite level, and I think that he's going to go out there and prove it this year for the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. He's won on every level. He's competed. He's been a great leader on every level and been around great coaches like Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley. You know, he's learned and he's matured each step. And hearing Lane Johnson speak about him, his poise, the respect he demands, you know, seeing him work out, A.J. Brown, and obviously you see him coming to his defense, you know, publicly. Yeah. I love this for receivers. You know, Tyreek Hill's been doing this, Devontae Adams, and now A.J. Brown. So I love it for Jalen Hurts, and I'm very, very, very confident in him going into the season.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like anytime things like this come up, maybe I just don't trust people. I'm like, there's got to be some kind of tic-tac of truth in there. But I wanted to ask you, when things like this come out of the locker room, you know, maybe some players are talking, are you guys all kind of looking around at each other like, who was it? Was it Tom that told my dirty secrets? What's the vibe?
I mean, not really. You know, people, a lot, you know, you have certain parts of practice that are open, and then sometimes things get out. But when I see it as a player, we don't really care because nobody knows what the goals were for that specific practice or that drill or who's making plays and why. That's what practice is for. Practice is to go out there and fail sometimes as a player, as a veteran. Maybe you're trying new things, and as a young guy, you're just figuring it out. So I got no problem. It's no huge reaction from a locker room when something like this comes out. They watch this guy day in and day out. We all heard about his stories in the weight room and pushing guys off the field. He just seems like one of those stoic leaders who isn't rattled by much. The last quarterback that he replaced, Carson Wentz, there was a lot of questions, I would say, around the league about, you know, mental toughness and dealing with adversity and dealing with that city. And I don't think those questions are there with Jalen Hurts.
Okay, it's a good point on the coaching and what the goals are in those drills, because the more I've talked to coaches over the years, there's sometimes they're telling the quarterbacks, hey, you're throwing to this side of the field, regardless of what the coverage is, or some coaches who want quarterbacks to force the ball into coverage, not force it to make bad decisions, but just see what you can get away with. Do it in practice before you do it in games. So I've been to enough OTA practices, I mean, literally hundreds over the past 20 years. There's a lot of stuff that happens there. Let's see when we get to July, August, and the season exactly how Jalen Hurts and everybody else looks.